Hello and welcome back to the Life as a Fitness Instructor podcast. This week we're talking to Jo from Groovelates. Now Jo has been in the fitness industry for years and has decades worth of knowledge. She's been through various challenges such as back injuries, hip surgery, COVID, and she talks all about the challenges that she's faced along the way and her really important message and what she's trying to convey with her brand Groovelates, and that is to just keep moving and enjoy fitness. Something that is very, very close to my heart as well. So I really hope you enjoy this episode and get lots from it. So Jo, a very warm welcome to the Life as a Fitness Instructor podcast. It's great to have you here. Now, what I'd really love to start with is your brand, Groovelates. If you could just tell us a little bit about what it is, what it entails, and a little bit about how to become a Groovelates instructor for anyone who's really interested.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Laura. Lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me in. Super excited to talk to you about Groovelates. I'm a micro brand, if you like. It's a passion of bringing together Pilates work, but also music inspired work and music motivated work, which is the things that I personally love, which is obviously why it's kind of collided in my world. And I know it sounds an unlikely combination if you say, well, you're going to put Pilates and you're going to put it to disco inspired music. What is this all about? And I totally understand that. And we still work with the Pilates principles within the Groovelates classes, and more so in certain sections than others. But actually, I wanted to create something that represented the fun side of working out as well, so that it's something that appeals to my client groups and to other people's client groups, the ones that maybe think, oh, Pilates is too serious for me, or that's going to be possibly, they might feel it's got a dull approach, or they just don't like that pace of work. But actually, how can we spread the love of the Pilates method, but to a different group of people? So it kind of fills that gap between those people who want to do sort of jumpy around stuff, but maybe can't, myself included. If you're no longer able to do high impact work for whatever reason, we want to do something low impact. We want to do something that's still meaningful, but absolutely something that's still fun. So that's what Groovelates is all about, is where those two worlds collide, if you like. And that's where my passion is. My passion's for choreography, but making it smart choreography. So that's really what Groovelates is all about.
Oh, I can resonate so much with that, Jo. That's exactly what I was trying to do with Yogascape too. Just that movement to music. And it sounds like you're quite like me in terms of you like your high energy stuff, the fun stuff, and how can we incorporate something that a lot of people would think is quite slow or dull and just make it exciting. Give it that little bit of zest, right?
And absolutely, and that's it, isn't it? Because as we know, everybody likes to move in a different way, and I'm a big advocate of it's keep moving. That's one of our sort of hashtags, if like keep moving. And that's what it's all about. Whatever way we can inspire people to move. And that's what Groovelates became. It came out of years of just playing around with my class formats. I used to make up something called a power Pilates session, and then I would start adding music in, and then we would start doing little choreographed little sequences, and it just grew from there. So it's been a tried and tested model, if you like, or format to get it to where we are now. And where we are now, like you mentioned at the beginning, is actually we've become a brand, and we have other instructors that are now teaching Groovelates, which is the most amazing thing. It's just quite humbling and inspiring to see other people teaching your choreography and see other classes all getting enthused about it as well, which is the fun part of the business, isn't it?
Oh, wow, that's absolutely amazing. So for Groovelates then, what's your reach like? Are you all over the UK? Are you in little
We're
pockets?
not. We're still quite tiny. To be fair, it's just myself, so I can only get the reach I can get. So we've got about 15 instructors teaching around the UK. So it is UK
Wow,
based,
yeah.
and it is around. And we're looking to grow that. And I'd rather have steady growth that I can then make sure I can be there to mentor people. I'm there to help look after the team as much or as little as they need. And I'd rather do that and make sure people are happy with the concept and what they're doing. I guess it's a quality control thing. Being a Pilates instructor, I always say, because I tutor Pilates instructors as well, I always say to people, as a Pilates instructor, you're always a bit of a control freak because you like that method and you like the methodology. And I guess it's the same as a brand owner, you're wanting to make sure that you're doing the best for the end client group and you're doing the best for your instructor team. So yeah, so we're a micro brand, but yeah, I'm so excited to even be at that point.
No, that's amazing. I think it's so lovely how you've evolved this. It's so organic. You tried
Yeah,
different things with your own classes, you saw what worked, you made it into this brand, and now you're getting it out there, sharing it with other instructors, and actually, just as you did with your class and your participants, you're nurturing them as well in their journey. So I think it's so
yeah.
wonderful how you've done this, Joe. It's lovely.
Oh, thank you. It is, and it's a passion project. I guess that's the best way of describing something like this, isn't it? And if you work within health and fitness, you often, like yourself, with your own, you have that passion, and that's what you want to share with people, and that's very much what gets you up in the morning and keeps you working. Because it can be hard. Well, I'm getting older. I know my client groups are getting older. We're all going through this journey together within health and fitness. And you've got to have that passion and motivation. And yeah, so that's the big thing that keeps me going, if you like, and sharing that love. And I'm also, what's been a really interesting journey for me. So even though, because I've been tutoring within health and fitness for the best part of 20 years, and I've been really fortunate to be invited in to educate and with all sorts of different teams. It's really interesting how different people learn and how they need different bits of support. And that's what I've tried to provide with Groovelates. So it's kind of a done for you class plan or class format, if that makes sense, because I know time is short. I know, a lot of instructors, it's not their only job as well. So that then they're wanting to be able to pick up something and it's done for you. So we do the graphics for you. We do the things that you can use in your marketing, your social media, etc. So all of that's available for our Groovelates instructors. So anybody who wants to pick up the brand. And the other thing that we discovered early on as well is we don't have license fees, because I think the fitness industry instructors are struggling. It's a hard one. We've all been speaking about within the industry about pay levels, etc. So if I can do anything to help you boost that and get you on your way and make a difference, then really I'm delighted to do that.
No, that's really brilliant that you're doing that. You're just making it so accessible for instructors. There's so many barriers to
Yes.
a lot of brands. So you're paying for the current release, for any back releases, and a monthly fee, and then sometimes quarterly education that you have to
Yeah.
go on, and it ends up being so costly.
Yeah, and you're working to stand still, and I don't think that's fair in life. I think you work to move forwards.
Absolutely. Now, I would love to kind of just backtrack a little bit, Joe,
Yeah,
and learn more about you and about how you first started in the fitness industry. So I know you said you've been tutoring now, did you say for about 20 years or so?
yeah, I know. So I feel really old now.
Oh, age is just a number. You're as
Just
old as you
remember.
feel. So some
Yeah.
days I feel like 90 when I wake up.
Yeah, so I came to health and fitness, like a lot of people, as my passion, as my hobby. Um, so I used to dance. I used to do contemporary dance, and when I was at university, I set up the contemporary there without any teaching qualifications or anything, as you did back in the day. Just set something up, run it, teach it, do it. other than an O-level in dance. So then post-uni, I didn't really do anything with that. And then I then had children and ended up with back issues like a lot of people do postpartum, and that drew me back into the world of keeping fit. And that's when there was a lot of clubs springing up. There was a lot of Pilates was very, very new in the UK at that point, and I was lucky enough to be introduced to the method back then. But I'd always loved choreographing, so that was my passion. And I would just and do it. And after a while, I was like, I could maybe do this as holiday money. I just do a little bit on the side, and spoke to my instructor. And this is before the internet. This is just sounds so archaic, doesn't it? So just found out about doing my training course, went off and trained, and just started getting cover work. And then it started to become, oh, do you want these permanent classes? And you know how it does, you roll along, and suddenly you've got a career as a fitness instructor. So I used to mostly teach aerobics, legs, buns and tums and aqua and that side, as well as Pilates. So I went through that. So that's how I evolved. And then I met Jill Cummings-Bell from Drummond Education on a course, and she was just setting up and really expanding the education side of things. So I auditioned and got a role there as well. So that's how I became involved in education. And that's opened the door for presenting and educating. And it's been brilliant because I've educated a lot of Pilates instructors, exercise referral, PTs, gym instructors, aerobic instructors over the years. I look back and I think, oh, blimey, and which for me has just been the best learning curve. And I think that makes you a better instructor as well over the years, because it means you have to stay at the top of your game, you have to be on top of things, but also you learn so much from everybody else as you go through life, don't you? So being exposed to the whole wealth of the fitness industry has been absolutely the best thing. So yeah, I've loved that whole side of it. So that's how I've kind of come to where I am now, where I run my own business. I have a team that teach for me remotely. I teach online now because we moved down to Cornwall, so I'm a bit more remote these days. I tend to work online, and that was the gift of the pandemic, wasn't it? It meant that we could all move to being online if that suited our business model. And yeah, so then that's how we've then sort of started to get Groovelates. And to be fair, it's been the third time lucky for pursuing Groovelates as a brand, because the first time I had to stop and have hip surgery, and we just started to relaunch, and then the pandemic hit. So it was like, right, once we came out of the pandemic, we're going to do this, we're going to launch it, persevere. Yeah, so that's kind of been the journey through, if you like, that you start off thinking, I'll just do a little bit of part-time work, and you suddenly end up looking back over more than 2 decades worth work and experience. And I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I think it's the best industry in terms of the opportunities and the fun you can have and the difference that you can make in people's lives. And I just love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we have the best job, getting to
Yeah.
help people feel better in themselves for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't take it for granted.
Yeah,
So you had hip
absolutely.
surgery as well, Joe.
Yes, yeah, I had to have a labral tear repaired. So that put me out of action only for a little bit, but it was just frustrating, these things in life that you do. That was just from a fall. So yeah.
Gosh, I feel like
I
that's such a
see.
major thing, and you're like, "Yeah, just a little hiccup. Yeah, we move on. It's fine."
We move on.
That's
We move on. Keep moving. Keep moving.
yeah, exactly. We keep moving. Well, that's just a testament to you and just how strong you are and determined you are, which is amazing. So
Oh, bless
when
you.
I know you said when lockdown hit, you went online, which is like a lot of us, that's exactly what
Yeah,
I did too. I went from teaching in gyms all over Nottinghamshire to going online, teaching in a little studio in my house. And I know
yeah,
you said you're there in your garage now, which is your studio, and it looks
yeah.
fab. So if you are listening on the podcast and you're not watching this, Joe has some fantastic decorations in his studio. You need to check it out on YouTube because I want to go and party in your studio right now. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a party studio.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
it. So tell
yeah.
us
For
a little
everybody
bit
listening,
about.
it's all glittery. It goes with the vibe. You've got to go with the vibe.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And tell us a little bit about that then, when lockdown hit and how you pivoted.
Yeah, it was one of those things, wasn't it? That it was an instant pivot, wasn't it? It was like, okay, we're now stopping. And at that point in my Pilates business, we had 18 sessions that we ran in community halls, in schools, etc., and a team of 4 of us. And it was like, okay, how do I keep my girls employed? And how do I keep my clients working out? So it was luckily a husband who's very tech based, so he could switch that around for me really quickly. And it was a huge learning curve, wasn't it? I don't think I've ever done so many risk assessments. I don't think I've ever done so much tech learning. And you know, that first month you look back and think it was just throw everything at it and see what sticks. And a bit by bit you hone your teaching skills. I know as a Pilates instructor, it'd always be, you know, you do 2 or 3 perfect repetitions and demonstrations, and then you're off the spot and you're looking after people, to going, well, suddenly you're online. No, you're doing the whole class and you're doing all of the reps that you're expecting your class to do for 18 classes or whatever it was over it. Like, okay, maybe we're going to have to look at how we change our teaching style. So looking at how that, and I think that's a good thing, and looking at how you improve maybe your imagery that you're talking about, your verbal cueing, how you get people to be self-reliant because you're not there to be hands-on with them. So I felt that was a really good learning curve about how you can maybe use props to help people find their core connections, or how you can help them focus and bring their attention to a part of their body in one way or another. And yeah, so that was a big learning curve in terms of upping your game on screen for us all, wasn't it? How can we optimize this? What was really interesting, I felt from that, was that clients that we would help with their tech, etc., remotely, and how they'd been concerned that it wouldn't work for them. And then getting the feedback, oh my gosh, this is so much better than we thought. You sort of look down the whole journey now, and that I have clients and they go, oh, I can't believe we used to have to trek out to a hall when I can just stay here at home and work out with you. And you just go, oh, that's worked brilliantly for some people. And obviously you've got our whole cohort that want to go back to all of our halls and our venues, but still a huge amount of people that have stayed online. And I think that's been really interesting, and like you say, opened up the industry, I think, and opened up opportunities a little bit more for us. So people who are maybe, they don't want to work out in a group, but they still want to feel part of a community, that they can be with you online. And I think that's a really unexpected, if you like, nice surprise to the whole side of that whole pandemic stress that we went through.
Absolutely. I remember thinking that when gyms reopened again after the pandemic,
Yeah.
I thought everyone would leave online, and actually no one did. And since then, we've actually just grown because, like you said, there's a huge cohort of people who really enjoy being part of a community that don't have to leave the comfort of their own home. And actually, for some people, they're so busy being able to do it from home and not having to drive anywhere, then drive
Yeah.
back and faff around with a change of clothes. You can just get up, do it in your pajamas, and then get
And
on with your day.
yeah,
It's perfect. It really
yeah.
is.
It is. It's. I think it's a game changer for some people as to getting them moving. So sort of increasing that reach for all instructors as to what you can offer. And off the back of that, like in my business, we offer a video vault now, and I never offered that before because I was never set up to video. But suddenly you have all that skill set. You set up a studio, everything else. So we have that, and that's a whole other side of the business. And then that leads you into creating digital courses, and it leads you into creating brands like Groovelates, because you suddenly have that whole skill set that's improved because of the pandemic. So I think we've got to hold on to those positives that we got out of that as an industry.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it's opened so many doors. It really has, and just made fitness more accessible than ever before. That's
Yeah.
how I see it, definitely.
Yeah.
So for you, what has been, if you had to pick out, say two, maybe one or two standout moments that have been the best? The best in terms of teaching, or maybe in terms of your tutoring? Do you have any standout moments you'd want to share?
Oh, wow. That's a hard question.
It is a
Oh,
hard question.
gosh. That is a hard question. Um, I'm thinking, I think in terms of tutoring, having one of my learners email in to say how it makes me emotional, look, to say how I'd encouraged her and in her learning that she'd opened up a whole new revenue stream, and it had allowed her to change completely what she was teaching, what she was doing, and how that affected her business and her income. So it's those little life-changing moments that education make, and that for me was just like, that's what it's all about. How it's you just like dropping that stone in a pond, and it's the ripples that come out, and how that changes somebody's world. And to me, it was just lovely to get that feedback. And I think that's that life-changing thing of, yes, this is worth doing, it's worth persevering, this is why you support people, this is why you do the job you do. So I guess from education, from client groups, again, it's the feedback you get, isn't it, from your personal clients or from your class members, as to about how, they will get out of bed to do your session, or you'll keep them going even on the worst week. And I think that was particularly as well when we went through the pandemic, when people were saying, wow, you helped me get through this. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know. That's such a big thing to take on board, isn't it? And you're a little cog in that whole process. But it just shows you the importance that as an instructor, you can be that little cog that makes a difference in somebody's life. So I think those are two standout ones in terms of like the enormity of it, I guess. And then from a purely personal perspective, and I guess from the show-off perspective, presenting at IFS and being able to present and just do your stuff on stage, and people wanting to come and enjoying it, and all of that side of it, I think that was something I never went looking for, if it makes sense. It's lovely to be involved in that, but it's not something I've particularly sought out. So those have been those have been life-changing moments, I guess, within my career.
Wow, that is amazing. And going back to the first one or the first two, just being, like you said, that little cog in the wheel, you don't understand or you don't realize at the time the impact you're having on somebody's life. I always think that you don't know what people are going through when they come to
No.
your classes, whether it's face to face or whether they're doing it online. That could be the best moment of their day or their week, that moment that just takes them away from everything that's happening in their life. And they're just there with you in that moment. And I think sometimes we can take that for granted or just not really think about it.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, as a fitness professional, you're having such an impact on everyone's lives that come to your classes. And I love that IFS. Yeah, you're allowed to be show-offy about it. It's not show-off at all. It's that thing that everyone is coming to enjoy your session and get so much out of your session that you've created, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Are
And
you
you're like,
It's great. It's great. Are you there this year, Joe?
yes, this year in the AMD UK stage arena room. I forget what it's called. So yes, so that's exciting. I've not been there for like 8 years. So yes, super excited to be there again, and looking forward to doing that.
That's great. Which day are you on and what time? Just in case anyone listening to this are coming
Oh
along.
yes, Friday afternoon. I think I should know, shouldn't I? 2:45, 2:15, 2:45, 2-ish. Sometimes
Something, two something. That's all we need to know. We'll get the timetable.
good with numbers. 2-ish. There you go. I'm an instructor. Do another 2, another 3, another yeah. So I think yeah. So it's yeah, Friday afternoon. So really, really excited for that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, I will see you there. We're there on the Saturday morning if you're around.
Ah, fab. I will come and see you in person.
Yes, it would be lovely to meet you. It really would.
Brilliant, brilliant.
So
Fabulous.
before we part ways and I'll see you at IFS, I would love to know, how do you see the future of Groovelates and your career, Joe? Where do you want to take it? Have you got anything coming up or any certain
I,
goals or aspirations with it?
yeah, good question, actually. For me, I just want to keep building our reach. So I want to, yeah, just get more people. No, I suppose the ultimate aim would that it becomes a brand that's a household recognized. Oh, like Zumba, I'm going to go to Zumba class, I'm going to go to Groovelates class. That would be, I guess, the ultimate aim. But on a realistic level, if we can increase our reach, so that we're covering, because I know I get inquiries from people saying, oh, I'd love to do the class, face to face, because obviously people can come and work out with me online, but if they want to do it face to face, and I just don't have the instructors in enough places to send people to. So that would be my goal, I guess, is to improve our reach. I suppose, on a global level, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? To sort of expand the reach beyond the borders. But I'm also a realist. I'm also a realist about how much time, effort, and organisation would go into that, and how you would manage that growth, and what the hard work that goes behind that growth as well. So it's just about how we can kind of tick along. Let's get the reach out there. Let's make sure that that the UK knows about Groovelates. That would be my goal.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, I'm sure you're going to do it. I'm sure you will. And you can just feel the passion behind your voice. So I really feel like you're going to convey that through everything you do. And I wish you all the best with sending Groove Lattes all over the UK and worldwide.
Come on.
Come on,
Come
worldwide.
on. Come on. Yeah. No,
Um,
lovely.
And one final thing, Joe, sorry. If you were a new fitness instructor, or you were thinking about becoming a fitness instructor and you were listening to this,
Yeah.
what would be one piece of advice that you would give that fitness instructor?
I would say always remember your worth. So in an industry that can be quite poorly paid in some places, and I know this is very zeitgeist at the moment within the UK about talking about pay levels, etc., is know your worth. I have kind of almost a personal thing of you never say no. So if somebody look for the opportunities, take the opportunities are there. You have to work hard. It's a job. It's not, you're not just going to waltz up and get given the best time slots at a club, or you're not suddenly just going to rock up and suddenly 800 people are going to turn up for your classes. It's a job of work, and I think approach it like that. So know your worth, know what you want to get from it, whether it's a part-time income, whether you want it to become a full-time income. And that's more than one thing, isn't it? And I was going to say, always be open to learning. I'm an educator, and I would always, I think that's, you need to be involved, and you need to be aware of what's happening within the industry, so that you can know which are the things to invest your time and money in. It's yeah, I guess, well, I suppose the other thing I would just say, have fun, take you where your passion leads you, because if you don't have that passion, you're not going to want to get up in the morning and do it. That was about 6 things. Sorry, Lorna.
No, it's all really good. Don't apologize. It's really, really good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Top tips from Joe. I feel like we write them all down. Everyone grab a notepad and a pen, write those down, and they're really important. I think definitely knowing your worth is, like you said, is really important, especially now. But at the same time, just don't think you're going to be given things on a plate.
No.
Everything worth having, you got to work hard for anyway at the end of the day. But it is an incredible profession to be part of, isn't it? It's the best. It really is.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, Joe, thank you so much for coming to chat to us. And I wish you all the best with IFS, and I will see you there.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, Lorna. It's been lovely to speak with you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Jo.
Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this on your socials. We'd love to hear your feedback. And until the next time, keep on